You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk 1150 AM. Now, back to the show with local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell.
Hi, Ed. Very excited to have you in studio.
Thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, very excited. So let me share a little bit about Ed. Ed Flash, co-president of Newcastle Arts Council, based in Newcastle, Washington. Newcastle Arts Council has a goal of making the arts come alive in Newcastle through promoting, supporting, encouraging the arts in our local area. Ed has a background in finance and accounting, but throughout his life has been an active supporter of arts and culture activities and our societies to receiving the value from his parents. Ed, along with his wife and 3 kids, have called Newcastle, Washington their home for the last 15 plus years. And it's so extra special to have you here, Ed, that I actually normally right after the music, I introduce you again, but I'm just so excited to have you here. It's extra special for me because to support Ed and the Newcastle Arts Council, because I've lived in Newcastle myself with my husband for over 18 years and was inspired to join the Newcastle Arts Council board. And I work closely underneath Ed to support Newcastle and see how hard he works. And so I'm just so excited. Literally, Ed, I'm so excited I didn't do my normal intro to bring you back into studio. So Ed, let's go ahead and talk about who is Newcastle Arts Council.
Yeah, so you kind of stole my thunder. As you mentioned, we're a 501c3 not-for-profit organization. We're here to promote and support and encourage the arts in the Newcastle, Washington area, and it's so important to do that from lots of avenues. We do have a motto or a compelling purpose of making the arts come alive in Newcastle. And a few years ago, we tried to think of something that we could create as a quote unquote tagline for us that would bring people into the organization, that would make them feel good about the organization. And that's when we came up with making the arts come alive in Newcastle. If you think about it, there's 2 key words there. One is making and one is alive. And what we do as the Newcastle Arts Council is try and bring the arts to the community in terms of being able to experience the creation of art. And so a lot of our activities are really proactive and let the individuals who attend them actually make art. As well as, if you think about it, making is not only actually the creation of it, but you can experience art through going to museums or going to art galleries or going to a play or going to a lecture that talks about some sort of art element. So that's also making it, making the arts. The other keyword is alive, and I think about alive as something that is positive and also very proactive, right? Live is a positive word. And so as we think about the arts, and we want to think of it in a very positive light. And so that's what we came up with, making the arts come alive in Newcastle.
Yeah, I love it. And again, being behind the scenes and on the board, I get to see a lot. And every month how Newcastle Arts Council is coming up with something that the neighbors can get involved in creating art themselves, being led and through an experienced person, whatever that monthly topic is in that particular art. So very exciting. And again, behind the scenes, just see how hard you work, Ed. And I just feel proud to be supporting behind you just a little bit in comparison to what you do. So why did you get involved at such a high level? Because it takes a lot for what you do, Ed. And I speak from experience because I see it behind the scenes.
Well, thank you. We have a great board, and you're certainly part of that. That is so very supportive of all of our activities. So I don't do it all myself. I do have some support people behind me that are really great people. I was very lucky growing up, where I had art all around me. Both my parents were very creative in what they did. My dad was a painter. My mom did needlepoint and at one point made all her dresses, so she was very handy from that perspective. We spent a lot of our weekends and evenings going to art galleries and going to museums and plays and such, and really experiencing the arts here in the local Seattle area where I grew up. And so my thought was, well, gee, I was so lucky to have those types of experiences and experience the arts in again, an active way. Why can't I help to bring that to the community of Newcastle? And so other people can have that same experience and other people can learn to love the arts just as much as I did with the background that I had growing up.
Yeah, and that's it's so great when you have such passion behind something you do, and that's why you're so great at leading this, and so it's great to hear your story. So, what is the history of Newcastle Arts Council, and why was it formed?
Yeah, so I actually wasn't there from the very beginning. There was a group of interested citizens in supporting the art that got together probably 6 or 7 years ago and had one event. It was a piano player at our local, one of our local senior homes, and it was a huge success. There was people that came in from the community. There were people at the facility that attended. Everyone had a really great time, and from that, it kind of built on that, where we realized that the city of Newcastle and the surrounding area. Newcastle, for those of you who may not know where we are, we're sandwiched between Bellevue and Renton. It's a small community. There's about 13,000 residents. We do draw people from Newcastle, but we also draw people from around the area. And certainly over the last couple of years with Zoom, we've drawn people actually from around the world that have come in and taken part in some of our activities that have been online. But it essentially evolved from that, where we realized that there was a need in the community for arts and art programming, and we've just developed it from that. A few years ago, we had about 30 programs throughout the year, which was outstanding. Just to bring something in a couple of years up from scratch to have that kind of impact on our community was really impressive in my mind.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say in 6 years, everything that's around Newcastle art related and all of the activities and events that are consistently happening, it's really impressive because 6 years is a short period of time. So, what have you accomplished in the past few years, Ed?
Yeah, it's a great question. In building upon that and some of the programming, we currently have and have for the last few years a relationship with the Newcastle Library and KCLS to do at least one program a month. We've had programs with our seniors in the area, film series at one of our community senior centers. We also do 2 art shows every year. One is in March, and that's centered on youth artists, and we usually have about 25 to 30 or so artists that are able to showcase their work toward the community. And then we have another art show in September that is more geared toward adults. And this is the 5th year in a row that we'll have had that art show in September. We fill in with other programs throughout the year. The other thing that we do is we help the city of Newcastle with art installations. And we've been able to do a few of those over the last couple of years. One of them we just put up, which Tina, you were a part of, which we were very excited about. We did a collaborative mural where we had 28 community members representing city officials, the police department, the library, local businesses, youth, and seniors, all paint a foot-by-foot block. And it all came together in a mural that we put up at our local park, Lake Bourne Park.
Yeah, and it is beautiful, and it was great putting it up to see everybody that's stopping in the park like, what is that? That's just like they're so drawn to it. So a lot of fun. So who else are your main partners in your efforts, Ed?
Yeah, and I mentioned the King County Library System has been a great partner. City of Newcastle has been a great partner. King County is also blessed to have an arts and culture organization called For Culture, which provides funding for organizations like ours to be able to provide the type of programming and the type of activities that we do to our community members. So we could not do what we do without For Culture. The other thing that we've done very effectively is build partnerships with some of our local businesses. And any businesses that are listening, or business owners that are listening to this show, I would highly encourage you to seek out some art organizations within your community and partner with them. We provide publicity for them, and it also gives them a great feeling to be part of a community and part of community involvement.
Yes. So, Ed, can you share the exciting stuff that are related? And we've talked a little bit about the events, but share what's happening in Newcastle this summer.
Yeah, we are so excited. Summer's a great time for Newcastle in the arts. So there's some great events that are coming up. One of them is on July 23rd, and it's our Newcastle Commons Art Walk. And we have about 40 art vendors and community organizations that are going to have booths there, selling their creativity. Great place for people to come and meet. There'll be food, there'll be music all day. So that's a wonderful activity. This is the second year in a row that we've done that. We also have concerts in the parks every Wednesday night starting July 20th for 5 consecutive Wednesdays. There's a concert at Lake Warren Park from 7 o'clock to 8:30 with local bands. These are big, huge events that create a community and community involvement. And then we have Newcastle Days, which is on September 10th, and that's our Newcastle celebration, which again brings together the community for celebrating the summer. And this is we haven't had it for 2 years, so we're super excited that we'll be able to bring that back this year.
Yeah, I came on the board during COVID, so it is nice to see the board come alive in what we can actually support now that things are a little bit normal. And beyond the summer, Ed?
Beyond the summer, we have programs for the library going on, or with the library going on throughout the year. So we're bringing in the Dickens Carolers. We have an art form called Zen Tangle that we're going to be teaching. We're actually going to be doing hula dancing. So if you want to learn how to hula dance, there's that program as well, and then various other programs throughout the year.
Yeah. So Ed, can you share, why is it important to support arts and culture organizations?
Yeah, great question. So I think everybody probably knows that there's some really real value in being involved in the arts from an individual and a learning perspective and a mental development perspective. And that could be at any age that you are. So either youth or as an adult. I was always taught that you never stop learning. So even, as an adult or a senior, you may think you know everything, but the arts is just a great way to continue to learn and experience. Helps with self-esteem, it helps with self-awareness, it helps with problem-solving skills, but not only from an individual. This is a statistic that I was blown away by. 10.3% of Washington State's GDP in 2020 was related to arts and culture the arts and culture sector. And that's $62 billion that goes into arts and culture. And that just simply blew me away. So it's an important part of our society, the arts and culture sector. And so it's something that we need to continue to support.
Yeah, 100%. So Ed, I got to wrap up in a few seconds here. Somebody wants to know about Newcastle Arts Council, get on the mailing list, donate, get involved. Where do they go?
So yeah, our website is newcastlewaarts.org. You can also get on our mailing list. We send out one newsletter a month, and that if you want to get on the mailing list, you can send a note to newcastlewaarts@gmail.com. We'd love volunteers. We'd love donors. We'd love people to get involved.
Yeah. And you can also reach out to the show because I'm part of the board and I know Ed personally, so I will get you hooked up. So Ed, thank you so much for being here. Again, it was just really an honor to be able to have you on my show and to share the passion behind Newcastle Arts Council.
Thank you.